Catch the spirit of the words, I can, and you have the key to the successful attitude. Know you can succeed and proceed to think, live, and act in that strong conviction. You may search everywhere, anywhere, to discover the mystic secret of success, only to find that in the end, it is all contained in these two little words, I can. Modern psychology has discovered that the person who thinks he can will speedily develop the power that can. This is the demonstrable law of the mind. Persistently think you can do what you want to do, and it will not be long before you find yourself actually doing that thing. There's no miracle about it. The law works that way. The principle involved is that if the I can attitude is adopted, the mind will proceed to direct all energies into those faculties which are employed in doing that which it is desired to accomplish, and steadily build them up until they become large enough and strong enough actually to perform what previously appeared to be impossible. Obstacles serve as an opportunity to call up our latent powers. They draw us out and make us strong. They lead us to the goal we have in view. When you are up against it, when you desire to progress, declare to yourself these words, I can. Remember, those simple words contain the magic formula to all success, and no goal worthwhile has ever been won without the realization of them. One's state in life is largely determined by one's mental attitude. Men radiate discouragement, gloom, and failure because they accept the I can't attitude. Others positively emanate success through a cheerful, confident, energetic I can attitude. We meet them everywhere. One gravitates to conditions of adversity, ill luck, and misfortune. The other attracts the very best and rises on and on to success. The negative weak one, the I can't individual, repels us. We instinctively shun him. That is the law warning us to avoid him, because he is out of tune with the divine order of things. On the other hand, the strong type of I can individual attracts and draws us to him. He's optimistic, and we are glad to associate with and to do business with him. Everyone has his own individual atmosphere, the same as a flower has its aroma. So let us seek to build up a strong, positive I can attitude, which will lead us to success. In all circumstances, you are greater than the things or the conditions. If not actually, you are potentially. Whatever you aim at, be certain of winning. Aim high, aim well, and your mistakes will come few and far between. Keep the I can attitude. Affirm it constantly. You will succeed. You are bound to win. The next step is to encompass your life, or to state your ideal or your objective. Make a mental picture and hold in mind that which you are aspiring to achieve. Begin with a persistent effort to work towards the final goal. Life, after all, is just a series of many steps. Each step may provide you with new problems, but as you meet each new problem, keep your eye ever fixed upon the top, your objective, your aim, your goal. You may not compare yourself with another. Everyone has had to commence at some time at the very bottom. In the meantime, know that you cannot fail until you give up. You never can fail if you never give up. Keep on trying. Each effort produces some result. Success, after all, is only the collection of many good results. Never leave till tomorrow that which you can do today, said Benjamin Franklin. The worst enemy you will encounter on life's highway is within your own self. Its name is procrastination. Procrastination kills ambition. It gets one into the habit of indecision, which causes failure. Practice making your decisions clearly and promptly. Take care of the little questions that come to you, and they will automatically take care of any other big questions should they arise. One who cannot decide for himself clearly subordinates his judgment. He becomes receptive to the racial thought around him, and then he becomes one of the masses and can attract only what the masses supply. What do you do with your spare time? How do you spend it? Where do you spend it? Do you give it any value? In these days, much profit and sometimes the whole success depends upon the using of the odds and ends, the so-called byproducts. Byproducts are something apart from the main article manufactured, and yet they have a value of their very own. The point for us is this: we are dealers in time. Our success depends upon the use of our time and its many byproducts, which we call odd moments. What about those odd moments? The real success of some started in the odd moments. What one does with his spare time not only is clear profit, but it increases his mental activities. Every minute you save by making it useful and profitable adds to your life and the possibility of a successful one. Every minute lost is a neglected byproduct. Once it is gone, it can never be returned. Think of the quarter hour before breakfast, the half hour after, the time wasted awaiting appointments during the day, and the scores of chances each day when you might read or figure or concentrate or work for your goal. Use all your time constructively. It is only the aimless, worthless, unsuccessful ones who speak of killing time. The one who is killing time is destroying his opportunities, while the man who is succeeding is making his time live and making it useful. I always like to hear a person say that there isn't enough time in the day for him. That person is getting the most out of his life, and I venture to say he is succeeding. Success, then, summarized, is the way we learn to use two valuable things: our time and thought. Knowledge alone is not success. It is the way we use that knowledge. Man is born to be rich. The powers inherent in him are inexhaustible. Each normal person is endowed with a complete set of faculties which, if properly developed and scientifically applied, will ensure success. Ever-growing success. Man is made for progress. Every man contains within himself the capacity for endless development. Advancement into all things is the law's great purpose. By learning to work with the law in promoting that aim, man may build himself into greater and greater success. All the processes of nature are successful. Nature knows no failures. She never plans anything but success. She aims at results in every form and manner. To succeed in the best and fullest sense of the term, we must, with nature as our model, copy her methods. In her principles and laws, we shall discover all the secrets of success. Infinite resources are at man's disposal. There are no limits to his possibilities. He focuses and individualizes the elements, forces, and principles of the whole world. He can develop a wonderful intelligence. Thus, all life's questions may be answered, all nature's secrets discovered, and all human problems solved. Nothing is impossible. Higher faculties, remarkable talents, superior insight, and greater power are dormant in all. And by special psychological methods, these exceptional elements can be developed to an extraordinary degree for actual and practical use. Every mind can develop greatness. It is simply a matter of knowing how. True self-help, self-discovery, self-knowledge, and the proper instruction in applying one's faculties and using one's forces will advance any person. Practice will ensure efficiency. Use will bring forth results. Success, therefore, is within the reach of every aspiring man. Do you wish to succeed? You can. You possess all the essentials within yourself. All you need is to gain a right understanding of the principles and laws upon which success is based, and then apply the right methods of operating these causes until success is earned. The law of success is as definite as the laws of any science. The exact use of this law will produce results every time. It is results that count, and as results may be multiplied indefinitely by a persistent application of this law, there is no ending to the success you can enjoy. Great things are no less possible than small things, and it is the great things that will follow whoever uses the law with faith and understanding. Whatever your present state or condition may be, there is a better and a larger future in store for you, but you must prepare yourself for it. You cannot rise into the better and greater things unless you do something about it. Study, planning, and effort are all necessary. The young and the old alike are entitled to advance. To be true to yourself and to the law which governs you, you simply must advance, for advancement is success. It is the law's intention that you shall move forward. You can stand still and you can go backward, thus retarding your normal progress for a while, perhaps as long as a lifetime. But in the end, you will be compelled to move forward, especially in the direction of soul's growth. You can achieve your ambition, aim high, and build well. What you imagine to yourself as success can be reached. The law never blunders. What she idealizes, she has the power to actualize. What she images in your mind, she has the power to produce materially. She ever seeks to build you up in your power and in success. That is her plan for you. The faculties possessed by all great and successful men are the same human faculties you possess. They gained some understanding of the right kind, and then they applied their faculties in the best way they knew for advancement, and so earned success. Some will ask, but in what does true success consist? Almost every other person will hold a different view as to what constitutes real success. To avoid confusion of ideas, let us define our meaning of the term. Most people consider success as being a high state of worldly prosperity. Others as the realization of personal hopes or fulfillment of heart's desires. Still others as the achievement of their ambitions or the performance of great deeds. Real success, however, is something more than this. We do not define it in terms of money, position, fame, or wealth, although it may include all these. True, genuine success of the largest kind lies in the results obtained, harvest reaped and distributed, so that our fellow beings at large are benefited and the world enriched. Man is so constructed that he may utilize the elements of his life to build himself up into an ever-increasing power, betterment, and success. He is also subtly related to everything outside of himself that this purpose may be fulfilled. Such fulfillment, however, will depend on the actual use he makes of his mind, and whether he chooses to serve in ignorance or to govern with knowledge the forces in his life. Success is bringing oneself and one's actions to a standard higher than the ordinary human standard. Most all the failures and defeats in life are due to mental blindness. When the heart is right, the head thinks right. All our acts are judged by our inner motives, not by the outer accomplishments. Success depends upon adopting a true course, upholding what is just and right in thought and action. Adherence to a principle is most essential. Success is not a creature of circumstance, nor a game of chance, nor luck. For not until the golden rule is the basis of commercial activity can we be in harmony with the principle. Business is an expression of man's highest aim. The fact that a man is honest and truthful and industrious does not ensure his success. More may be necessary than this, for if a man is timid, backward, or fearful, fear will act as a brake to retard his progress. If a man is an efficient engineer, yet has an inferiority complex, that complex will make him mediocre, and he will not be able to extend himself according to his skillful training. Fear is largely the cause of failures. It cannot be eliminated either by drugs or by the surgeon's knife. The only remedy known for fear is understanding. Most of us could meet our obligations if it were not for fear of some kind that tells us differently. We hypnotize ourselves into a belief which incapacitates our power. Fear clouds our vision. It benumbs our faculties. It paralyzes our mental forces, which must be free and active if we are to avert calamity. When man's mind is confused by fear, he is in no condition to accept an opportunity. If we desire success, we must think success. We must talk and act success. And we can do this more easily if we know that the law is on our side. It is said that half our failures are a result of our pulling up on our horses and checking them as they are about to leap the barrier. Expert riders let the horse have his head, and this ensures a safe jump. Half our failures, then, are that we pull in at the moment when we should let all our forces out to have full vent as we make a leap. We jerk ourselves back into failures, just when we could be riding on to victory. Success is a matter of advancement by grade. No man can become a success except by training. An athlete will train for weeks and months to fit himself for a contest that may last for only a few minutes. The real secret consists in moving forward, and that peculiar mental attitude which promotes this constant progress is the ruling factor in the art of success. No person can succeed who is not imbued with the desire to advance. In fact, the first step is to become thoroughly saturated with the spirit of progress, so one feels stimulated with the persistent desire to work for better and greater things. The desire to advance implies the power to advance. That is the law as absolute in its actions as any law of science. The fact that you desire to succeed is evidence that you have the power to succeed. Otherwise, you would not have been urged to aspire successward. You cannot aspire to succeed unless you have the power to succeed. Desire creates the power. Power inspires the mind of the individual, and success is the result of that inspiration rightly applied. Investigating the lives of successful men, we find a very striking fact. We find a common quality that is responsible for their success, which consists of a constructive state of mind. Psychologists term this constructive state of mind as a successful attitude. Simple as it may seem, in most every case, the difference which decides success or failure is the ruling mental attitude. It is at fault and is the cause of failure. The discovery of this remarkable fact by modern psychology probes to the very root of some deep practical problems and indicates a way out of adversity and failure. In short, the positive mental attitude of the man who thinks he can, in contrast with the negative attitude of another who thinks he can't, is practically the only difference between the one who succeeds and the one who fails. The former learns the truth and discovers he can do things, and the idea liberates his sleeping energies, stirs them into activity, thrills him with the desire to advance, inspires him to get things done. So, he moves into success. Some persons, however, live in the conviction that as they are, so they must remain. They believe that God had cast them into a fixed mold and that the little ability or power which they possess is all they can hope or wish for in this life. Scientific research into the mysteries of the human mind reveals a wonderful world of power and possibility. The psychological truth is that what is possible to one mind is possible to another, and vastly more than we have ever dreamed. The same human faculties and cultivated powers of the great and the successful are possible in all minds. The only real difference is in the degree of development, not kind. Begin now to take a superior view of yourself, your life, and circumstances, and of things and persons in general. As you mentally perceive the better and greater, you will consciously and unconsciously reach out for the better and the greater. In other words, your thoughts, desires, words, and mental actions will gradually become filled with the spirit of progress, and your faculties will grow stronger, and your powers will increase.